What is going on? It's been a minute. We're back. Our first time back on air in a while. And Stefon Diggs is back. And tonight we got a lot to unravel. Now, if you're new and you're not familiar with this podcast and this show, this is nothing personal. Just Buffalo. I am your host, JT, and I got my co-host in the building with me, James Mallory. Mal, we got a lot to unravel, man.
Man, listen, man. The people they gonna want to tune in tonight, man, because we got some stuff to talk about, man. We've been out a little bit, but we back, y'all. We back in full effect, and we about to get at it today.
Yeah, so tonight we got two very decent topics for you. We usually have a more topics for a show, we say, right? But with the Stefon Diggs thing, this is a lot to unravel. And we're gonna talk about Ed Oliver. We've actually never went live on air and talked about on the Ed Oliver extension. So those two topics we'll have for you tonight. So make sure you guys are tuning in, chiming in, giving your opinion. We'll be talking back with you guys. It's a full engagement show as well. And we'll be right back after the intros. And don't forget, this is brought to you by Checkers. We are back.
These new Checkers fry season chicken tenders are for Joe. Joe wants his son's project to be number one. Woo. So we took our number one famous seasoned fries and added the same secret blend of spices to create Checkers' new fry seasoned tenders. Made with 100% white meat chicken and all coated with our famous fry seasoning. Now that's a winning combination. Genius recognizes genius, Joe. Come get your new fry seasoned tenders. You've earned it. Join Checkers Rewards for a free Buford or Mother Cruncher.
All right, we are back, and so obviously, if you guys have been living under a rock for the last few months since the Bills' dreadful loss to the Cincinnati Bengals and the AFC Divisional Playoff round, there has been an underlying issue with Stefon Diggs, the cryptic tweets. What is he actually angry about? What's going on? Is it just Steph being Steph? Is there a legit problem? I don't know. Some fans will say, it's nothing. It's just a receiver being a receiver. You get over it. Other fans are worried. I, for one, knowing some of the things that I know, I think that there's a legit problem here. There's a legitimate problem. Now, I'm not saying that when we come to this dinner table that it's not going to be fine at the end of the day. But there's definitely some legitimate issues there, and James, you can speak to that. Being a former player and being in NFL locker rooms and understanding how these things work themselves out, or they don't work themselves out. It's a lot, and we have not. This is something we have not seen in the Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane era. We haven't seen issues. And you know that eventually they were going to come, okay? No franchise goes unscathed. I mean, and mind you, they've went unscathed for an uninterrupted, we'd say, for about a good 6, 7, since they got here, about 6, 7 years, okay? James, do you think that there's a legitimate issue with Stefon Diggs and the Buffalo Bills? Or is this a much ado over nothing?
Absolutely not. No. Nah. I look at it like this. I'm gonna dig in a little bit here. In regards to when we saying problem, you mean something that could break a team up, causing problems, or just an unhappy player problem, right? Because that's why you want strong leadership in the locker room. Then when people say leadership, they're able to buffer a lot of this, right? I think a lot of people are blowing it up. Being in the locker room, I've never been in the locker room where somebody wasn't pissed at the head coach, mad about playing time, mad about targets. I should be this. I should be. Every single team has. And when you do have that, you lean on those leaders to be able to, navigate you through. And for me, for one, why I don't even mind it is because for 20 plus years, we've had a team full of good guys. The stuff ain't worked. You need some guys with edge. You need some guys to go push the line a little bit. The nice guy, okay, I'm fall in line soldiers. It ain't worked for us, right? How long was that drought? When the last time we've been in the Super Bowl? It ain't worked. Sometimes you need guys with edge. Other players.
Oh, you're cutting it out right there.
Yeah, I cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got players like Stefon Diggs. If anybody on this team could be mad and could have something to beef about, it's the guy that works his ass off and comes to work. He never misses a Sunday, right? He's always available. He's going to work. Everybody you hear says he's a good teammate, right? So whatever that problem is, it's not a big deal in regards to getting to that ultimate goal, because it's not going to derail this team from getting to the ultimate goal. If him having this situation with whoever he got the situation with, I don't want to speculate, whoever he got the situation with can derail this team, that means it wasn't a championship team to begin with, period. So you got to be mentally strong. You got to be mentally tough. And Mitch Morris said it best. I got a job to do. You got to come there and do your job. It really.
Yeah, I cut out there at the end there. Sorry. So I look at it like so. I think there's 3 issues here. Okay, I think there's issues with 3 people here. Obviously, I think there was some disgruntledness with Stefon Diggs and Josh Allen last season. Mainly because if you looked at a graphic I posted back after the season end, Steph targets, his receptions, his yards, and specifically his touchdown all dropped in the last 8 games of the season. In the first 8. I think one of Steph's biggest issues with this team at times was him not getting the ball at crucial moments. And we saw that completely unravel in the Bengals game. Divisional game. We saw it completely unravel. But then you saw what can happen when you get the ball in his hands late and the Lions come back. Mm-hmm. So we know he can make plays, and we know why he wants the football. I think that there's an issue right there with Ken Dorsey. As a first-year play caller, okay? I think one of the biggest things that Stefon Diggs, actually I know one of the biggest things that Stefon Diggs wants is he gets his targets, right? He gets his receptions, he gets his yards. He wants to be schemed more into the game plan. And I don't have an issue with that. He wants to be schemed more into the game plan, i.e. a Cooper Kupp. Okay? Like some of his other peers that are top receivers, where there's 5 or 6 plays a game that is called specifically for this guy. He's going to get the ball these 5 or 6 plays. Now, if you've been watching the Buffalo Bills over the last couple of years, they've never really schemed him in that way. There's not a lot of screens thrown his way. There's not a lot of things that you see designed to say, hey, this is to get the ball to Steph. You can see it on film. Mm-hmm. Steph's just so good that he's going to get the football. He's damn near unguardable. Okay, he's always going to be open. And Josh does a good job as a quarterback of making sure he gets the ball. Like I said, Josh looks for his top target, regardless. So, with that being said, there's a third issue. There's the issue with Sean McDermott now. And I think this issue started with him postseason. Post the lost Cincinnati Bengals. And because of some of the things that Steph has done behind the scenes, this would definitely rub Sean McDermott specifically the wrong way. Okay? If you know anything about Coach McDermott, he has his finger on the pulse of his team at all times. He's not missing a beat. He's not letting things get out of control. Some people said, I read online, they were calling him he's a control freak. Well, yeah, so was Bill Belichick. So was Bill Parcells. So was most of your great head coaches.
Yeah.
That's how you win games. That's how you keep locker rooms together. That's how you earn respect. You control everything. And as for a coach, it's not control your controllables. It's you control everything, period. I think that some of the things that Steph had done this offseason, I'll be completely honest with you, have been unwarranted. Mm-hmm. I think that some of the things have been borderline embarrassing to me. And the reason I say that is I understand his frustration. I totally agree with you when you say it felt like when it came to his playoffs, he was one of the few people that was ready to go.
Yep.
And ready to put it all on the line. And everybody else just kind of coasted and took the L graciously in a way. I get it. I wouldn't disagree with that 1 minute. There was no emotion in that playoff game. And like I said, this is going back. He was the only one. And we know that Steph's always going to have that emotion. But I think you have to balance being passionate and being toxic. And for me, what I didn't like is I didn't like the way he treated Josh Allen this offseason. You knew, like I said, we all know there was a rift there. And the way Josh's press conference went yesterday, where he just said, internally things, I know we got to work on some things. Listen, if Josh got to get you the ball more in crucial situations, I get it. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. If Ken Dorsey got a scheme more for you, I'm with you. I totally agree. Football-wise, I won't disagree with anything that Stefon Diggs has an issue with at this current moment. But there's a time and a place and a way to handle everything. You don't shade your franchise quarterback. Now, mind you, the reason I say that is this. Josh has had your back since day one when you got here to Buffalo. And he has not wavered. First of all, that's a hard quality to find. Not only in this billion-dollar corporate business, but just in this world in general. Someone to have your back no matter what, that's tough to find. You don't shade him ever. You keep everything behind closed doors. And honestly, I think he got Josh looking really kind of a little crazy right now. Because I feel like Josh is blaming him for something that he really had nothing to do with. So what? It happens. And now that we go back now, we realize Josh had his own problems going on at the same time. We're not going to dig into that because that's his man's personal business. But he had his own thing going on. So, I don't know, man. James, what did you think of the press conferences? As far as the response from Josh, the response from Sean McDermott, because that was a little chaotic. He's saying that he was very concerned, but then the agent say Steph is there, but then we find out he was excused from practice that day. Then today, Sean McDermott says, it was just a breaking point between those two that they needed a break from the conversation. What the hell you think happened, man? Let's just be real about this.
You got a locker room of 90+ people with egos. Every single one of those guys get egos. So hypothetically speaking, if you have a shouting match between two grown men with egos, come on now. I mean, you know, I don't look at it as a big deal, and I don't think it could become toxic or cancerous. I'm even going to use the word. I don't think it become toxic unless other people buy into the bull.
Yeah.
If they're not buying into it, you can act however you want to act. Nobody's going to care. Right. So I think it's a little overblown right now, me personally. I do. It'd be a different situation if it was Josh Allen acting this way, right? If Josh Allen was acting this way, not showing up and all of this, it's a little different for me. I just look at it. I think just being in locker rooms, dude, I've been in, man, listen, my senior year, our championship team, there was some things going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, You play ball at the end of the day. He could be mad as he want. If the man comes out there and he produces,
right.
I mean, it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's
Right.
causing friction on the team.
Right.
I don't even know all that other stuff we all talking about. Oh, he don't like this. He did this in the offseason. He did that. It's actually all irrelevant. And like Von Miller said, it don't even matter. Because at the end of the day, you're going to come together. You're going to do your job to get it done. I'm not going to lie. I had teammates before. I just couldn't stand. I didn't really care for them. But when we got on the field, we got the job done. We had a great working relationship. So I think that's very important that we kind of just stay to the course in regards to what is the goal, what are we trying to do, and it'd be different if it was a me. It's me. It's not a me with him. Yeah, he wants those targets, but to win, he want to get us over that hump. He want to get us there. It's not like we a 7-10 team, and he's like, oh, just give me the ball. No, this dude want to use that clutch situations that get us over that hump, get us to where we should be, which is to Super Bowl. I love the attitude. I would love to play for somebody like that because I get down right with him. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm going to challenge him. All right, you want to challenge me? Anybody that ever played on a team with me? I'm going to get with you. I'm going to challenge you. All right, you talking all this shit. Now we're gonna press. Now
right.
Practice, let's get after it. Use that energy on this practice field.
Right.
We're gonna push the line in regards to making our teammates better. Let's channel that energy. Let's put that on the practice field, put that on the game field. Now our competitive nature, let's put it on the line. Now we're about to make this team better. Because guess what? You don't play for the coaches. You play for everybody get that confused. Oh, well, playing hard for the coach. You don't play for the coach. You play for your brothers, man. Because guess what? McDermott is going to be coaching longer than any of these guys out here play football, period.
Right.
You play for your brothers. People get that twisted. You play for your brothers. And that's what it is. And I think it's I truly think it's a bit overblown by people. Just for me, just being a locker room guy, I'm looking at it from that point of view. It'd be different if you. It ain't that. We good.
So my thing is this. I know what I think I probably know what the blow up between him and McDermott was. It was something that Stefon did behind the scenes this offseason that he shouldn't have done. It probably happens more times than not that as you know of. And I know if I know what happened, I've told you what happened. I'm not gonna tell for our viewers. I can't tell you guys what happened, but if you know and I know damn well they know what happened. Okay, so that I'm thinking that was probably what the blow up was in the skews because that's probably the first time that those guys have talked all off season. And honestly, it seems like that this is the first time Steph has talked to hardly any of his teammates. So he's like, man, sometimes I don't have an issue with that.
That's very normal.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. If you need to get away, you need to get away. It's just like it's no different than us taking a vacation from work.
It's very normal. Like
yeah,
people think you got to be best friends. Your coworkers, JT.
Oh God, don't even get into it.
When you leave your just because you don't talk to them before your next shift, that don't mean you don't like them.
No.
I mean, I don't understand how people think they got to be buddy talk all the time. No, you don't.
Right. I just think, like I said, end of the day, for me, I would just like to see the situation handled with Josh a little bit better. And I think he put Josh in a very awkward position. And honestly, this is good for Josh because Josh has not had a lot of awkward situations.
I was going to say
Buffalo. Wait a minute, I lost you.
Yeah, I lost you too on mine. Yeah, but anyway, it's a good thing because he's going to test Josh, right? We're going to see what type of quarterback we got now, what type of leader we got. And along with that, I want to say this. Along with him testing Josh, right? If we go back, let's keep it real. Josh Allen missed a lot of open duels in that game.
Absolutely. And if you guys don't believe him, go look at Kurt Warner's breakdown.
Yeah, he missed a lot of open duels. Mm-hmm. So that's why I said, in my opinion, why you think people are not tripping over the way Stefon Diggs, these other players? They understand Josh Allen he underperformed in that game, man. Let's keep it funky. He did. Yeah. I know Bills Mafia love Josh, and we all love Josh. I feel he's the best quarterback in our franchise history. No disrespect to Jim Kelly. But I mean, dudes. You got Stefon Diggs running wide open on 2 plays that could have resulted in 6 points, like each. So that's not acceptable, And if anybody got the opportunity to get mad, it's him. What would fans be saying if Josh Allen dimed 6 different dudes? They dropped the ball that could have been touchdowns. Imagine what Bills Mafia would be saying. Gabe Davis or Stefon Diggs wouldn't have got a pass for that. Josh Allen does.
Right. And I said all last year that I felt that Josh in general had a not so good season. And I know a lot of people blame the elbow. And I said, some of the things he was missing had nothing to do with the elbow. And obviously, with the offseason, maybe we know why some things were going on. Maybe, like I said, we tend to forget that these players are human and they have human issues as well. Okay? And when we go to work, sometimes we don't have the best days when we go to work, but we have normal jobs, and it's kind of acceptable. With these guys, they have 17 games or 18 games to get the job done, and that game they don't look their best, they're going to be scrutinized for it.
Yep.
But once again, I just go back to the loyalty to Josh. I just think that you don't put him in that situation, but at the same time, it's going to be good for him because I've asked him to be more of a leader with this team. Like I said, he leads by example. He leads all on the field. We'll never question that with Josh Allen. But I said last year after that Bengals game, he needs to be the type of guy that needs to be more of in-your-face quarterback. Get your bleep together.
And he's still. I think he's still. I think he's a good leader, but he's still developing to be that, right? Yeah. And that's why when you talked about getting rid of Mitch Morris, you can't.
Yeah.
When you say, "Oh, it's not even worth the cap space," you can't. He's very valuable in these situations.
Because he's not.
To be honest with you, I think he'll be here another couple of years. You just can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
And I said, it's funny because, like I said, you got to see when we were in the locker room with the Micah High Charity softball game how Josh interacts with his teammates. Mm-hmm. And for you, you've been around. It's not very quarterback-ish. The way he interacts, it's not very quarterback-ish.
Yeah. He's a great teammate. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's somebody I would love to play on the same team with. Mm-hmm. I've been around quarterbacks who I've been around that. Yeah. But he's not that.
There's no disconnect with Josh Allen and his team.
Zero. He's one of the guys.
He's one of the guys. And that's huge. And I think you're seeing that more and more as the years go on. Like with him, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes. These guys have changed that narrative. They're not above their teammates. And I think the quarterbacks of the 90s or 2000s, a lot of times they put themselves above their teammates. And when things went south, they went south quick because now that disconnect that you have just got even worse. So let me bring you to the last point of this whole situation, right? Sean McDermott says it's resolved. Josh Allen says they're working through it. Mitch Moore says they got to work through it. Von Miller says it's nothing. Are we good now, or we won't find that we good till we hit a tough point during the season?
It won't be good until you really around somebody every day. You're around them for 3-4 days, it's still not resolved. When you're around this person every day, camp, you go through some things, it'll be good. I just don't think it's not enough for me to even bring up much of, because I don't think it'll derail what this team is trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal.
Do you think that with Steph, do you think going back yesterday, and obviously this is kind of like one of the situations where you talk online and then you talk a lot of ish online and you run into the person, or you say something through text and you have to run into the person, and at first it's awkward. Do you think Steph ran into a point yesterday or the second day that we got there that it's very awkward for him, and that's why Sean McDermott was like, all right, listen, go home for the rest of the day, come back tomorrow, be ready to work, we good?
No, I think it was a situation where the first time Sean McDermott probably had somebody challenge him. I think that's what I think. I think that's the first time he really had somebody.
Well, yeah. You know what? I didn't think about that.
That's my opinion. It's been my opinion the whole time. I think that's the first. Yeah. And he had, instead of him lashing out and going back and forth, if this is the case, go home for the day. We need space.
Do you think as a head coach, he handled this absolutely 100% the right way?
I think so. because you don't want something to spill over the practice field. You feel a certain type of way he do. Now it's just there. It's brewing. One wrong thing happened. Now it just turns to separate for the day, come back. It is what it is.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like I said, it was funny watching him interact with everybody and how he interacts at the Mike High Church softball game inside the locker room. And I know a lot of people at the game didn't know he was there because he never made it announced that he was even there. He didn't even go to the field. But that's why I say he has his finger on everything.
Yep.
If there's an event for a player, whether you see Sean McDermott there or not, the odds is he's probably there.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's why do you think he said he was very? Cindy Martini Jackson is a good question. Why do you think he said he's very concerned?
Because once again, when you got somebody you pissed off, you got somebody that challenge your authority. Stefon Diggs is the dude that's going to challenge you, and somebody challenge you, you will be concerned too. He's not here that I'm concerned. What would he say? No, I'm not concerned when he's pissed off. Imagine this man's probably pissed. He's not. Oh, no, he pissed. Yeah, I'd rather him say I'm concerned than to lash out and tell the business.
Yeah.
You concerned. People could take that however they want.
And you know what the thing is? I'm not laughing. It's funny because everybody concerned. You know why everybody's concerned? Because this team right here can't get to where they gotta go without Stefon Diggs. And if you're a fan, an analyst, or whatever, if you believe they can, you've lost your damn mind. And the only way they could is because that defense under Sean McDermott, if this team didn't have Stefon Diggs, and God, knock on wood, he's going to be here and healthy and everything's going to be okay. Unless that team plays like the 85 Bears, that defense, you ain't getting there.
Yeah.
You can't do this without Stefon Diggs. Like, as much as Josh Allen changed the course of this franchise, Stefon Diggs changed the culture of this franchise. As you always say, you got to have that dog in you, that savagery. That's what it takes to win Super Bowl. That's what Travis Kelce has. That's what Tyreek Hill has. That's what, that's what makes Patrick Mahomes so good. You got guys out there that's really go get it. Stefon brings that. Yep. And there's no one else on this team that incumbent that I can say brings that same attitude outside of maybe a Tre'Davious White and a Jordan Poyer. Those are two guys who bring it. And that's why the Bills kind of revamped with different people.
Yep.
So, I don't know. It's interesting. Like I said, this is the first time that we've encountered this in the Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane era. Now, as you said that Sean McDermott was challenged, I actually thought about other players who possibly challenged Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane possibly. The first person that comes to mind is Quentin Spain. And he was out of here.
Yep.
He was one bus. He was a Greyhound ticket up out of here. Quick. Oh, you sit in the bench? Okay, you ain't happy? Oh, you mad? Okay. Deuces. Tyreek Hill, we gonna catch you later. Peace signs up. You can't do that with Steph. Contractually or team.
Quentin Spain, his career was never the same.
No, and like I said, we've talked about the Quentin Spain thing again. I always agree with Quentin's anger towards the situation after taking the pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
And taking and not even hitting free agency. I would have felt bamboozled too on that one. But yeah, I can't think about anybody else who possibly challenged Sean McDermott since he's been here. Now that you say that, I can't. Yeah, I can't think of anybody else. No. So it's interesting, man. But hey, man, hopefully all is well. Hopefully first couple touchdowns we're gonna be good. I just find it hard to believe that Stefon Diggs is gonna be in the same room with Josh Allen, or actually living in the same quarters as Josh Allen fairly soon here for a month or two. And
why do you think teams go away for camp?
Yeah,
and you'll see in camp, you'll see McDermott and Stefon Diggs hugging. It was everybody tripping for nothing. Yeah. And I can't wait to get to this Ed Oliver topic because we got to debate that a little bit.
Yeah. We actually haven't been on. We've been planning to go on air and get back on air, but obviously life happens. Life happens really, really fast. So moving on, like I said, I hope all is well. I tend to say that we'll find out if this is resolved sometime in March. Okay, we'll find out sometime in March if this is actually resolved and we good here. Okay, for now, I think we straight. I think I agree with you, James. I think everything gonna be good. They're gonna work this out. And contractually, like I said, he can't go nowhere right now anyway. So he know that, and they know that. But moving on, man. We gotta talk about this Ed Oliver contract extension. Like I said, I know we're mad late on it. We never actually talked about it, but our man Big Ed got a surprising contract extension from, in my opinion, 4 year, $68 million extension. Yeah, man. Big Ed got paid, and remember, I was going to these events last year and asking fans if you give the next contract extension, who would it be? Would it be Ed Oliver or Tremaine Edmonds? And I assumed that it was going to be Edmonds, and I assumed that even if you didn't give Edmonds, that Oliver was just going to be and play his 5th year out, and we'll see where we go from there. Hey, they paid him. I know you agree with it. You know I was very kind of indifferent about this. I ain't going to say I was pissed. I'm not going to say I was happy. I'm going to say I was indifferent. Why do you think this is the proper timing for this?
I like it because why play around with it if you want to do this, do it now. If he has a big season, he's sitting there with that dumb look on your face end of the year because his price tag is going to be through the roof. And let's be real here. If you're McDermott, or excuse me, if you're Bean, you cannot lose first round picks back-to-back years. That's just throwaways. That's a throwaway draft. You lose Edmonds and you lose Oliver back-to-back years? Nah, man. So let's be real here. Ed Oliver is a really good football player. Is he a star? No. He's a really good football player. Fans fall in love with the sacks. You know me, I am not an analytical guy. I am not. You know that about me. I am not. Because I watch film, right? Every year of college. And I love both the fullbacks I had. My junior year fullback and my senior year fullback. Statistically, the senior year fullback was better. Realistically, my junior year fullback was so much better, it wasn't even funny. But if you're a fan and somebody else look at it at analytics, you'll say this, I don't want to mention names, but this guy was better. When if you watch any film or you have any football knowledge, it's an insult to even compare the two. And I look at that when you talk about regards to what he brings. I'm not saying he's a star or anything like that, but do you want to let a talent like that walk out the door? I am very comfortable with giving him this contract. Would I have been comfortable with giving him this contract if we'd have paid Edmonds too? No. But with Edmonds gone, and we're probably going to have a rookie there for the next 4 years at that middle linebacker position, or somebody very cheap at the middle linebacker position for the next 4 seasons, I think we can afford to do this. And then we got Milano on a dirt cheap deal.
Yeah.
I think we could definitely afford to pay somebody who has a really great motor, who has a very good skill set, where I think, we want this guy part of our future.
All right. So when the deal first came down and I saw the numbers, I said, what the hell are we doing here? Okay. It almost felt like we're back in the twilight zone with the Dawson Knox extension where you're paying for potential and it's going to hinder something. And I still say to this day that the Dawson Knox extension led you to not being able to re-sign Tremaine Edmonds or go over the number you wanted to go over. Now, we talked about this off air, and you brought up a very good point when it first happened, that with the number they gave him, which is around 17.5 pretty much per year, that's probably the money they had allocated for Tremaine Edmonds, and they weren't going $1 over 17.5 for Tremaine. His market obviously took off. The Bears paid him. You knew that midway through the season that the Bears were going to be very highly interested in Tremaine Edmonds' services.
Did I say that on air? I don't think I did.
I don't remember if we said it or not, but
I already
know you
knew
it. I think you may. I think we may have alluded to it, but that money was already allocated by Brandon Beane, and they just kind of shifted to Ed, in my opinion. So it's different layers to this one as well. Obviously, there was no defensive tackle under contract after the season for the Buffalo Bills. No Ford, no Tim Settle. Daquan Jones has a void year, so that's not actually a contract year. No Jordan Phillips. So Ed's your only defensive tackle signed, I think, past this season. outside of like maybe DJ Dale, who's an undrafted free agent at this point in time. Once I saw the structure of the contract, and it's basically, it really is basically structured like a 2-year deal. It's a lot of guaranteed money on March 19th each year. So the Bills have time to decide after certain seasons that they can get out of it. It made me feel a little bit better about it. I still didn't like the fact that when the initial numbers came out, that they guaranteed 66.6% of his contract. Now, the reason I had an issue with the 66.6% is because the Giants' contract they gave Dexter Lawrence, 66% of his contract was guaranteed. And DeForest Buckner was sitting around the same amount of money. Ed Oliver has been solid, okay? I don't like fans to say he's a bust. He's not a bust at all. He's a very good football player. Has he lived up to my expectations for him? No, he hasn't. And I've been crystal clear about that. I need it more. And I know, like I said, I get it. I get the whole not being a stat guy because you can't see everything on film. But Ed Oliver is not necessarily a run stuffer. So when we got him, I've been saying I need 7 sacks. This is your skill set. This is the thing that we draft you in the top 10 for. This is the thing that everybody was going to draft him in the top 10 for, was to convert this pass rush into sacks. But he needs to take his game to the next level. And hopefully, and sometimes the contract will do it. And I agree with you, James, where you've said many times before, there's a lot of very good qualities about Ed Oliver. A, he always shows up to work. B, he never takes a snap off. You had the one little hiccup where he got arrested that we found out that was completely dropped and it was not the case with him. But outside that, he's been fine. He's had no issues. And there has never been a lack of effort with him. But with this money, I need him to take that step. I do need those stats now. I need him. If he was 330 pounds and he's eating up 2 blockers, that's different. Very different.
But what you got to understand, too, the play next to him has been very inconsistent for 3 years. If not longer. We can't say we had a consistent one technique yet. Daquan, they've had their moments. But somebody has been consistent.
Go ahead.
I said we just haven't had that consistent one tech. We just haven't.
But then again, when I think of consistency, I look at him as well.
He consistently gives you his best.
He gives you effort. But I don't think we've ever really seen the best of Ed Oliver, and I haven't seen Ed Oliver come up big in crucial moments.
And this is the thing, and why I'm fine with paying him. If he gives you exactly what he gave you for the first 4 years, he's still worth that contract. And if he blows up, you got him on a cheap deal, Matt Milano.
See, but then that, and I guess that's where I disagree at. I don't feel that if he gives you what he's given us the last 4 years, that he's worth $17 million. If he goes on the market, you don't think another team would have matched that contract if he gave you the same? Basically, if he gave us the same what he's been giving us, he would have got more money on the market. It's hard for me to say. I mean, possibly because you saw the 49ers give Hargrave $20 million. So it's very possible. I mean, anything can happen in free agency. It's not impossible. A lot of people,
and that's why you're in a position, if you're not to cut you off, you're the Bills. You can't even roll the dice because now you're going from back. It's an investment. You're going back to back years. We're losing first round draft picks. Yeah, and for you just can't do that. That's you threw away picks. You can't do that. If he was a bust, he was just terrible, you don't offer him. But if he's good, he's damn good. This is a gamble you got to take, especially with a guy that you're grooming, you have in house. You gamble with your guy.
How much do you think that this contract was given because of the lack of contractual control over that position that they have going into next offseason?
I think it's 25%. I think 75% is just the possibility of losing him and him having a big year. Because if he have a big year, because the biggest issue with Ed Oliver is people compared him to Aaron Donald coming out because of his size. If people didn't compare him to Aaron Donald because of his size, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Yeah, I like I said, I've always disagreed with the Aaron Donald comparison. It's just certain players you shouldn't be compared to. And it's funny because now you're going to see quarterbacks come out and they're going to be compared to Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, like Anthony Richardson was in this draft. And you're setting the bar so high that it's hard to achieve. Now I will say that about Ed. I do feel that the bar he was given was unfair. Was a very unfair bar. Aaron Donald is possibly, if not, the greatest interior pass rusher that this game has ever seen.
I think it's an insult to even question it. Not do disrespect to John Randall and Warren Sapp. I mean, come on now. Aaron Donald's different. He's so. But all in all, with this subject, I think they made the correct decision. You got him locked in. Then you have to pay Russo soon if he produces. But I'm gonna tell you this: the last thing I'm gonna say, I know we about to end the show. The defensive line. I'm gonna repeat this again. The defensive line has zero excuses. I'm saying this again. The defensive line has zero excuses this year. Yeah. Period. If they don't produce, besides Vaughn, Rousseau, and Ed Oliver, gut the whole damn thing. Everybody else got to go.
Everybody got to go.
Got to go.
You know what? And you can't blame Leslie Frazier this time around, Bills Mafia.
They got no excuse.
You got no punching bag in Leslie Frazier this time.
But this is the funny part about that. You gave them the most tools they ever had, but no Leslie Frazier. So now when I think they're going to be successful, they're going to say, oh, it's because of McDermott.
Yeah.
But now you got all these weapons. You got Leonard Floyd, who I've been begging for, a guy like that for years.
Yeah.
Von Miller, Rousseau. You got Shaq Lawson, AJ, Boogie. Inside, Jordan Phillips, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Tim Settle, Poona Ford. We've never had a defensive line with that much depth.
You better make it happen. And honestly, and speaking with the depth, you got your two safeties back healthy. You got a third safety this time around, Tyler Rapp, he's a starter. He's a starter in this league. Okay, we've never had a third since Denoris Searcy was on this team. We never had a safety that was a third that could be a starter. Mm-hmm. Your third safety. You got an All-Pro candidate in Matt Milano, who's getting better with time. Like fine wine right now. And the biggest thing is, you've never had a number 2 cornerback across from Tre'Davious White with the athleticism and skill set of Kyer Elam.
I told you before how I feel. I think Christian Benford going to be a star in this league. I told you that last year. I told you that before training camp even started. Christian Benford is going to be a star. I know people he trained with, they said it beforehand. If he didn't go to Villanova, he wouldn't have been to a bigger school. He would have been a high pick. That dude, man, listen.
But I'm gonna ask you a question about Benford. He's gonna be a star in this league, and I agree he's gonna be a very good player. But at what position?
I think
either or.
I think if he win it, he win it. I think they're gonna roll like that. He win it, he win it. I'm
just saying. Do you think that he could be a star in this league at free safety as well?
I think corner.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you look for bigger physical corners. I think we got 5 corners who can play football right now. I think we got 5 starting caliber right now. We got 5.
We do.
Aaron Johnson, Kyer Elam, obviously Trey. Mm-hmm. You got Christian Benford and I said Taron Johnson. Dane Jackson, and a new gentleman we just signed too.
Cameron Dantzler.
We got 5 or 6. Yep, we got 5 or 6 guys that can play at corner right now.
Yeah, and Taron Johnson better watch himself. A lot of competition. They won't be afraid to move one of those guys inside if somebody else wins that other job. I
think they love him too much. I don't not this year.
After this season, I'm talking.
Yeah, not this year.
After this season, because $9 million is a lot to free up. Just saying.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, but closing out Ed Oliver, seeing the structure of the deal, seeing how the bill structured it, I think it's good. I'm okay with it now. When you see the numbers come across ESPN, you're like, wait a minute. $68 million. Wait a minute, 66% guaranteed. And I'm assuming the contract was backloaded. Because obviously the Bills don't have a lot of money up front. I'm pulling my hair out. What the hell you doing? But okay with it, seeing the structure. It's essentially pretty much a 2-year deal. If the Bills wanted to be that way, they can get out of it and save a lot of money. So, Hey, they paid you, Ed. He posted on Instagram a little while back, show me the money. Don't talk to me. Well, they gave you the money, so you got to show us a lot of talking to do now.
Yes, sir.
So you better get them cowboy boots and them horses to clicking.
Let's get it.
Because Bills Mafia gonna be all over you if it don't work. You know what I said? You better make a call to Marcel Darius and ask Marcel, listen, bruh, I got paid. How they act if I'm not performing well? And Marcel give you write you a book on it. So fairly or unfairly, that's up to you to judge. But nah, man, other than that, it was good being back on air tonight. Hey, next week we had more topics lined up, but obviously with the Stefon Diggs thing, we really wanted to spend some time on that. Over the next couple of weeks, there will be some changes with our pod. We'll be promoting our Facebook, our own Facebook page. We're promoting our YouTube page, promoting our Spotify. So just look out for all that stuff. Follow us on all that, and we're gonna be doing things pretty much the same, but we're trying to invest in this thing a little bit more, give you guys a little bit more, do things a little bit differently. So hopefully
stay tuned.
That's it.
Stay tuned. We ain't gonna give you too much. Stay tuned. It's going down.
That's it. So like I said, just invest in doing a little bit more. And that's pretty much it, man. Other than that, I think we good. Steph back. We back. The whole gang back. We include ourselves in this, okay? And thank you guys for always tuning in. We should be back. Next Tuesday. I will announce it, but we should be back, barring anything crazy happens. Usually my schedule is not James, it's really mine that's been all over the place. Barring nothing crazy happens, we should be back next week, and we got some more topics to talk about. And stay tuned. I'll say over the course of the next couple of weeks, we're going to be breaking down every position. Some shows we will let you guys know. Some of these shows will be live, but we will be doing a lot of recorded content too, because we just can't fit everything that we want to talk to a lot of times into a 45-minute show. So we're going to be doing both. We're going to be doing double duty. So stay tuned. Watch out for that. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in and following. And we'll catch you guys hopefully next week. Other than that, James, anything left?
Nope. See y'all next week. Make sure y'all tune in. We got some exciting things happening. Let's get it.
Peace.